What is good, defenders? That's right. No intro, just the two of us. You know my voice. It's the Scarf, J.R. Liebert, and this is going to be a double episode of sorts. My partner in Pod Philly always says that these one more sleep things count for one full episode. Well, just in case it does, we're giving you a double dose of defenders. That's right. We're going to be doing an entire one more sleep. And then after one more sleep, we are going to cover all the news, notes, and happenings for Don Garber's 2-week vacation break that we took before and after our last playoff game. This is Defenders of the Bank. This is episode 390. I'm the Scarf. And of course, across the interwebs, in world-famous Philomonster Studios, clad in red, it's not Santa, everybody. It's one Christian Philly Philemon. The last thing it says on his little intro there is Hoosier, which has a little something to do with what's going on his clothes.
Oh boy, ho, ho, ho to you too, Scarf, and to the millions.
And millions
of Defenders of the Bank listeners. Look, after an intro like that, perhaps I should have walked in with pyro. Maybe a smoke machine, personal hype squad. I mean, did you just introduce me, or am I just the final boss of MLS podcasting, Santa Philly? But hey, I'm here. I'm caffeinated. I'm hydrated and ready to bring enough energy to power BMO Stadium for 2 halves and stoppage time, and clearly a one more sleep and a full episode. Actually, those are all lies. I'm exhausted. Life has been hectic. I'm at the level of tired where sitting still counts as cardio. But playoff footy is here. LAFC is cooking. Vancouver is nervously Googling how to defend Bouanga, and Defenders of the Bank are live, baby. Let's get this thing rolling with the kind of insanity that we have today. What in the hell are we diving into first?
We're going to get into one more sleep. So with that, everybody, it's time for our one more sleep intro. Absolutely right. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. That's right. This is going to be a fun one. We've got one more sleep, but guys, we had so much LAFC news and notes to talk about over these last couple of weeks that we wanted to do it right. If you want to just hear the match preview, then this is where you want to start. We're going to go through our entire one more sleep the way we normally do it. It's going to be a massive match. Obviously, we don't need to tell you that. It's the Western Conference Semifinal. And oh, by the way, it's only the third time ever that Vancouver has even seen this late on the calendar. They've never made it to a Western Conference final. LAFC, of course, well-versed in the Western Conference finals and in the playoffs. Philly, it has been an incredible season for Vancouver for sure, and they're expecting a record crowd of 53,000 plus at Bad Carpet Place.
Dude, their season was incredible. Second in the West, fifth in Supporters Shield, a club best 18 wins, 7 losses, 9 draws, 63 points. In addition, club records with win away victories, 8. Obviously, it doesn't apply in this game because they're at home. 66 goals, a goal difference of plus 28, the 5th highest XG. I think that's the case. The 5th highest XG in MLS history. And obviously along the way, they've had a unbeaten streak of 11 games, which tied a league record. I believe that tied a league record. And then they had another scenario with the most goal scorers in a regular season at 20. This team was killing people the entirety of the season. But a team's best season in club history, still not good enough to garner a Supporters Shield? Hold on, Vancouver. That's what still makes LAFC greater than you. But, man, is it going to be a ruckus environment? I decided to skip my monthly delivery of Tim Hortons coffee through Amazon because of this game that we're going to have. Bad Carpet Place is going to be wild and intense. And Scarf, I'm kind of shocked that you actually didn't make the drive back to Vancouver. I still think you're the craziest mofo I know who drives from LA to Vancouver just for a day and change. It's bizarre. I mean, I think you're one of the smartest people I know, but as Forrest Gump would said, stupid is as stupid does. And I don't know. I haven't called that kind of stupid.
Listen, it was a whole lot of fun to make that drive, seeing every part of the Great White North on the way up there. That was a good time. Let's not forget, oh, by the way, despite San Diego having a record-setting season, despite LAFC bringing on Sonny and everything that we did, it was Vancouver that scored the most goals in the Western Conference with their 66. It was Vancouver that allowed the least goals in the Western Conference with their 38. But look, everything changed when they brought in Thomas Muller. Eduardo, we are absolutely going to talk about the 2026 schedule. It's going to be after One More Sleep, which is going on tonight. We're doing One More Sleep and an episode. Hang in there with us. Philly, the bottom line is these two teams, LAFC and Vancouver, brought in a mega star. Thomas Muller, who was rumored for a long time to be coming to LAFC, wound up going to Vancouver, and once he did, they took off. In his 11 matches against MLS foes, they lost 1. 7 wins, 1 loss, 3 draws, and in those 11 matches, they scored 27 goals and allowed 10. And oh, by the way, all Thomas Muller did, 9 goals, 4 assists in those 11 matches, 13 goal contributions. And here's the stat that drives me crazy. They averaged 2.3 points per match in those 11 matches. Philly, they are special with Thomas Muller. They took it to new heights, and this is already a club with plenty of weapons.
And could you have imagined how much more deadly they would have been if they had a healthy lineup? I mean, Brian White goes out with a hamstring. MCL, I believe, is for Tristan Blackman, and he still wins Defender of the Year. Ranko Veselinovic. I mean, there's so many key players on their staff weren't even fully up to snuff. And while they're not necessarily not going to be up to snuff, and Brian White looks like he's going to play, Tristan Blackman might come back. They're still coming back from serious injuries. Hamstring's one of those annoying ones that you can still kind of do things, but you can re-aggravate relatively quickly. So I'm not even going to factor in a player as talented as Brian White. I've been talking about him for years, how he's one of the best strikers and most underrated strikers in this league with the amount of goal contributions he has from goals to assists. I mean, the guy's deadly. But you said it yourself. Thomas Muller has absolutely changed the way things work. And look, it's not just the personnel they have. Obviously, it's the coaching. They couldn't do what they did this season under the likes of Vanni Sartini, who in my eyes, in my opinion, still not the worst of coaches that Vancouver's ever had. Very solid within his own right. But Jesper Sorensen has taken this club to new levels, and it's official. You don't need us to tell you that. It's not rocket science. This is one of the best teams in Major League Soccer, and tomorrow's game is not going to be easy. It's not the Vancouver of yesteryear. I don't envision a 5-1 schlubbing of the Whitecaps. This, in my opinion, is going to be the toughest match that LAFC has in the West. I don't even care about San Diego or Minnesota in the next round. I think Vancouver is the team to beat. This is our Western Conference final.
Listen, 51 matches will be how many Vancouver will have played this season after our matchup against them in Vancouver. And all Jesper Sorensen has done is won 26 of them. They've only lost 9 of 50 matches on the year. This is a very, very good club. And yes, they are expecting both Brian White and Tristan Blackman to play. In the chat, we had somebody ask, El Tráfico Radio asked, does Tristan Blackman start? I believe he will. I do not believe Brian White will start. It'll be interesting to see. Brian White, 22 goals in 33 matches. The dude fills it up. Tristan Blackman with 5 goals and 2 assists in his 36 total matches on the season. He had a great year. Obviously, the reason being his getting Defender of the Year. But let's talk about the player who made the biggest improvement from last year to this, and it has to be Sebastian Berhalter. We saw what he just did for the U.S. men's national team against Uruguay. Well, all he's done in the Major League Soccer season, 8 goals and 13 primary assists on the year. And look, plenty of other weapons. This is what we've talked about. An all-star goalkeeper in Yohei Takaoka, who, yes, I used to talk smack about, but he's played much, much better. A great winger in Emmanuel Sabi with 8 goals and 7 assists. And oh, by the way, let's not forget about two players that combined for 23 assists on the season, Ali Ahmed and Jaden Nelson. These are players that are likely going to be playing in World Cups. These are players that are sharpening their skills come MLS playoff time. This is a very, very good Vancouver team. And with that, Philly, what do you think? Should we talk about our players to watch and keys to the match?
Let's stop wasting time. Yes.
And hi, Mike. Okay, now we know it's you. There we go. All right, let's get into my players to watch.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that El Trafico Radio was Mike. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, our chat is all the ats now instead of all the names. So it's very, very different in the chat. And I need to do better at that. I apologize, Mike. Love you, buddy. Let's talk about my two players to watch. I just talked about Sebastian Berhalter. The dude is the straw that stirs the drink for this club this year. 13 big assists, but he can score anytime he needs to. We saw what he did with the U.S. men's national team. You just heard me talk about him. The only thing unfortunate about him is his last name is Berhalter. Other than that, he's a very good soccer player and probably a perfectly fine person. But you know what? I'll never like him because his last name is Berhalter. So that being said, Sebastian Berhalter has plenty of tools to play with and plenty of players to make better, which he has been doing all season. He took the next step, and he is absolutely a star in the making for Vancouver. And I don't need to tell you that the man that has 101 goals on the season is 101 goals in his career. Excuse me, that'd be a record.
Jeez, well, yeah, I was gonna say that's a hell of a career right there.
Right, 101 goals for the Black and Gold. He's unfortunately going to be coming back hurting. As not literally, but figuratively. In the insides, Gabon losing 4-1, cut short their World Cup qualifying run. And the worst part is Nigeria didn't even make it after beating Gabon. They lost out to Congo. So an interesting turn of events there. But Denis, unfortunately, stifled in that match against Nigeria. He had 8 goals in World Cup qualifying for Gabon. I feel like I need to order a Gabon Denis Bouanga jersey. I absolutely love Denis. He's just an incredible player, you guys. And if you're not watching Denis Bouanga on an everyday basis, you are missing one of the true absolute mega stars in this league. So it's no surprise I'm going with Denis Bouanga and Sebastian Berhalter. Less of a surprise are Phillies too.
Less of a surprise? I don't know. I think most people have already grown accustomed to me choosing Denis the Destroyer, as I like to call him. I still find it odd that there's people that follow this league that have the audacity to claim that Denis Bouanga is overrated. That just tells me you're the biggest idiot in the world. That's all there is. Just as the saying goes, we'll relate it to technology. It's better for people to think you're the fool than for you to comment on Instagram and prove everybody right. I'm not talking about anybody in our group specific, but I have seen these comments. All right, so let's start with Vancouver, and we're going to learn a German word together, defenders. Raumdeuter. Repeat after me, Scarf. Raumdeuter.
Raumdeuter.
All right, that's a German term that literally means the interpreter of space. It's the nickname Thomas Müller earned because of his unbelievable, uncanny ability to read space before anybody else, drift into pockets defenders forget about, appear unmarked at the perfect moment, and turn chaos into chances with one touch, punishing teams not with speed or flash, but with his football IQ. Raumdeuter, interpreter of space. And sure enough, since he came in to Major League Soccer, shockingly, in my opinion, to Vancouver, but alas, he's had a good time there. He's been everything the Whitecaps have hoped for and more. He's stepped into this league and instantly raised the Whitecaps' marketability and the team's overall footballing IQ. He's not outrunning anybody. We know that. He's outthinking everybody. And he finds teams' defenses don't even realize that they've left open for him. He drifts into those pockets, pulls entire backlines off bounds, and then turns simple passes into some of the most dangerous moments with that signature one-touch genius. The guy knows how to win. He's won so many trophies at Bayern Munich. He's hoisted the World Cup. And by the way, that's something to back up and ponder for a moment. On the pitch, we're on opposing teams. You have a couple of World Cup winners. That's pretty freaking incredible. In that Hugo Lloris for France and obviously Thomas Müller for Germany in 2014. Incredible. I just had to stop there. But look, Müller's the connector, the organizer, and the freaking heartbeat of this Vancouver attack. He's smarter than everybody around him. He's funnier than everybody around him. And point blank, since he's jumped on, we talked about his stats, very similar to the player that I'm going to be talking about for LAFC, in that of Son. Son is, look, you don't need me to say that he's a revelation or anything like that. He's been a freaking game changer. His pace, his precision, his world-class finishing, it all traveled with him from Tottenham defenders. It all came from Tottenham with him. He didn't leave it on some carousel. He came to LA, and hopefully, and it is going to come to Vancouver. Every touch that he has draws defenders. Every run creates craziness, and every moment feels like he can turn this into a highlight. He's elevated Denis Bouanga. He's unlocked the attack, and he's raised the entire standard of LAFC. Simply put, Son didn't just join LAFC. He supercharged them, and you can feel it every single time that he steps on the pitch. This is a heavyweight fight between two players who know each other from the Bundesliga back when Sonny played for Hamburg, and Thomas Müller was obviously kicking butt at Bayern Munich. You think Sonny forgot about that? No, that Hamburg team was bupkis. Bayern are the Bavarian bullies. I think he's going to carry a chip with him on his shoulder into BC Place because of all the shellackings that Thomas Müller gave him during his time with Hamburg in the Bundesliga. I digress.
And look, these are two guys, Philly. And by the way, it's so much fun when Philly prepares for an episode, isn't it? This is why I love the guy. I know he's got a lot going on, right? He's doing things for MASL. He's calling games. I got to call a couple games with him just recently, but it's nice when my boy prepares for things. It just sounds so eloquent and beautiful and fantastic. I love it so much.
As if I never prepare.
No, you kind of went a couple episodes winging it a little bit, and the beautiful soliloquies that you just read, my friend. That is because you prepare better than almost anybody out there. That's why I love you, buddy. That being said, Philly, isn't this like their 14th or 15th time now that they will have played each other in their distinguished careers? Sonny and Müller. This is going to be the heavyweight matchup that Don Garber gets his rocks off about. Absolutely. He is so excited about this one. So excited that he might be leaving in 2026, which we are going to talk about after one more sleep. We have a full episode planned again, so stick with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. But before that, let's get into our keys of this match. I've got two, and they're pretty simple. The first is to stay organized. They have so many weapons that know how to run Jesper Sorensen's offense. We mentioned it already, from Jaden Nelson and Ali Ahmed and their 23 assists. Sebastian Berhalter with 13 assists of his own to go with 8 goals. Philly just told you why Thomas Müller is maybe the most dangerous player in white tomorrow for Vancouver. And that's if Brian White plays, that's 22 goals. We haven't even talked about Ryan Gauld, who is a fantastic player in his own right. There are a lot of weapons for a team that finished tied on points in the Western Conference with number 1 San Diego. So make no mistake about it. LAFC does go into this match. I don't care what Vegas says. I don't care what anybody else says. They do go into this match a very slight underdog, in my opinion, especially with this match being at BC Place in front of 53,000 very polite Canadians. So we're going to see what happens.
Ain't going to be polite tomorrow, Scarf.
But I think LAFC needs to do one thing more than any other, and that's to stay organized. We have got our own midfield maestro in Marky Delgado, who has played extremely well for us. We have our own Canadian men's national team midfielder in Matthew Chonier, who is going to look to show up and show out in front of his country people. And I think it's going to be the back line. It's going to be the way that players play with each other on the back line. Eddie Segura is going to need to have a massive game in this one. Ryan Porteous is going to need to have a massive game in this one. And I'm looking for Ryan Hollingshead and Sergi Palencia on those outside wings to set the tone. This is going to be an uphill battle for LAFC, and they're going to have to stay organized. And oh, by the way, in my no-duh key to the match, it makes it a whole hell of a lot easier when you're the one that scores first. So why not make it be us? Stay organized, score first.
I mean, the score first thing is going to be an important angle, and I'm going to get into that in a second. As far as my keys, look, there were so many different keys to really focus on. I mean, it could be, we didn't mention him earlier, like you got to manage Ryan Gauld. When he's quiet, obviously Vancouver struggles to create things. We could talk about not giving away set piece opportunities, which we've done in the past. Vancouver more than likely will want to control possession the way they've been playing. LAFC doesn't really need the ball. There's so many different angles that we can go, but ultimately it's all going to come down to being clinical and not leaving goals on the table. LAFC is going to generate their chances, but Vancouver concede very few big chances, and this game will swing on with first-time finishing, making the goalkeeper work for every single shot in that Atakaoka and avoiding that one extra pass syndrome that has somehow plagued us for the entire history of this team. LAFC needs to be clinical, get those opportunities, put them past Takaoka. You talked about scoring first. Look, that's important. Why? Because Vancouver are unbeaten in MLS play when holding a lead at halftime with a record of 13-0-2. But LAFC, when scoring first, is comparable at 16-1-4 and 12 wins, no losses, 3 draws when leading at halftime. So these are a couple interesting stats that might get blown out of the water, but ultimately it comes down to not leaving goals on the table. Scoring first would be huge because those Canadians, as polite as Scarf says they are, they're not going to be polite in the heat of battle. Don't be surprised if they all start chucking Labatt's at one another. In fact, stay away from Labatt's, Molson's, and Tim Hortons tomorrow. While you're at it, stay the hell away from poutine. Well, and I don't even know where you'd find poutine in Los Angeles, come to think of it. But bottom line, be clinical. Don't leave goals on the table. Finish your chances and look like anything else. They're going to hold it. We're going to beat them on the counter. Blaze past them, beat them in the counter. Our attack is far more formidable. Their midfield, I think, is among the best, though. That would be another potential key, whoever wins the midfield. But ultimately, finish your damn chances, in particular with such a high-stakes game.
I think that we are about to witness an MLS classic. I think this is going to be an absolutely incredible prize fight. And these two clubs are going to go back and forth the entire match, and all of the star power will be there. All of the goals will be there. And I've got to say one thing that I don't think we've talked about yet. I think we are going to see Son Heung-min play a different game than we have even seen him play so far. I think he's going to level up in this one to the likes of which that only those Tottenham fans know, the way that he can play in some of those big moments. And I am going full homer on this one, putting my money where my mouth is. And I think LAFC comes out with authority. I think just like we've done in many of our matches with Sonny and Denis as the two up top, if we play 2, if Nathan or Daz starts as well and we play 3, I think we might with Jailson not being available. I don't believe in this one. I think LAFC unlocks something special. I think Tristan Blackman's going to take a little bit to get back and feel comfortable. And the second we can start to get this defense to start playing on their heels, the second they're going to start to have to keep throwing numbers forward, as long as we stay organized, I think we get 1 or 2 before Vancouver's 53,000 are even done filing in the building. And this is going to be the match, in my opinion, that puts LAFC squarely in the conversation of, oh, wait, they're actually maybe the best team in the league. We need to watch out for them. It doesn't matter what Philadelphia, Cincinnati, or Inter Miami are doing. It doesn't matter what San Diego, Minnesota, or Vancouver are doing. LAFC needs to, and I think will, impose their will on this match and yet again not allow Vancouver to make the Western Conference Finals. I've got 4-2.
That's a pretty hefty scoreline. I don't even think that that's going to be a fun game if that's how it turns out to me. I think it's going to be a little less high scoring and actually a lot closer in my eyes. Look, we know that Scarf, what's that German word we taught you today?
Raumdeuter.
Raumdeuter. We know that Thomas Muller's style is deadly, his ability to find spaces. And I'd hate to say it, I don't think our center backs are disciplined enough to not allow him to do that. I don't think they've even had the opportunity to play against somebody as incredibly talented as him. I do believe that he's going to find a way, to score a goal, and that's by doing what he does, interpreting the space and skipping past our center backs and finding the back of the net. That's one goal, at the very least, for Vancouver. But when it comes to LAFC, look, a transition game, that's what they do better than anybody else does. They're going to overload Vancouver going on the wide side. Look, they're going to probably want to slow things down, push bodies forward, but Denny and Son are going to come. They're going to be freaking nightmares in transition. LAFC have far more pace, far more creativity, and have more of a vertical threat. And with that playoff intensity, the transition moments are going to be what decides this game. You got a goal right there. LAFC speed far greater than Vancouver's stomach for risk. In addition, look, the Denny and Sonny effect, it's massive. Vancouver can't double them both. Pick your poison. If they double Denny, Son gets isolated 1v1. If they double Son, Denny slices them like a Ginsu from the left. Throw in the fact that LAFC is going to go wide and overload and stretch Vancouver horizontally, which I don't think they're going to be able to handle as well. We're going to absolutely decimate them that way. That's our second goal, and that's how we end up winning 2-1 by doing what I just said.
Listen, I've got 4-2. Philly's got 2-1. There's a lot of talk in the chat about 3-2. Smirty's got 3-3, and we win on penalties. Woo, that would be nuts if we go to PKs on this one. The bottom line is this is going to potentially be more entertaining than any of the next two matches that we play. I think this match, it's got all the makings. It's got all the makings of an incredible prize fight. It reminds me of some of those 80s NBA All-Star games when you actually had all the stars and they all came to play for real, and it was fun basketball. That's what this is going to be. And oh, by the way, this is one more sleep, but then stick around because we're going to just do a full-on episode about all the other news and notes for everybody traveling to Vancouver. Be safe out there. There's going to be 53,000 Canadians in BC Place, so hopefully we'll travel and we can hear the 3252. But it's going to be a fun one, Philly, and I can't wait to talk about who we get to play in the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, and with that, let's go to the next episode.
Sounds good. Hold on, we got to outro one more sleep. Bye. And we're back just like that. That's right. This is episode 390 continued of Defenders of the Bank. That's Philly. I'm Scarf. And here's our intro for an episode. What is good and welcome? That's right. One more sleep. Now it's a real episode. And Philly's loving every minute of it. Right, Philly?
I mean, look, this without a doubt gets the kudos for the most unique way that we've ever done any single episode. I should have changed our shirts. If something at the very least, that might have made it a little different. Maybe like we could have like worn hats or wigs or something that may indicate that it's a completely new episode. But either way, creative, you take the kudos for the creativity today. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. I'm not thrilled about doing long pods. I don't like doing long pods. I don't like talking that much, believe it or not, because I'm trying to protect my voice for broadcasts. But alas, here we are. We already talked about one more sleep. We don't need to go into that. But yeah, plenty of drama, plenty of chaos, all kinds of loony tooniness has occurred since the last time we were all together, which really does seem like forever and a day ago.
Listen, Don Garber wants to have a 2-week vacation in the middle of playoffs. We can do whatever the hell we want with our episode. That's damn right.
That's true. As Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer once said, we have the microphones. So you will listen to every goddamn word we have to say. Unless, of course, you just click off, and that's a different story.
Yeah, you can do that if you want, but we would like it if you don't. Look, this is going to be a regular bit of an episode. We do have a little This Day in LAFC history, and then it is all news and notes. It is, there's a lot. There's a lot to cover. The schedule, the international break, and how everybody played in that. Just an unreal amount of stuff over the last couple weeks. So with that, let me just start very quickly with This Day in LAFC history. Today is Friday, November 21st. Friday, November 21st. Oh, Philly, we have a request to bring out Hello Kitty if she's around. I can't believe I just allowed that to happen. Like it's nothing.
Hold on. Which Hello Kitty? Now I can ask that with legitimacy. Which Hello Kitty?
Dakug is saying, I forgot to give you all homework. That's because I'm on Thanksgiving break. I'm off for the next week. So no complaints for me. That's for sure. Philly went away. He'll be back, I hope, in a moment. All right. Anyways, this is this day in LAFC history. And if you are listening to this live, it is Friday, November 21st. And we have not one, not two, not three, but four things to talk about from November 21st. First, we have two birthdays. Happy birthday to both Maxime Chanot and Ilie Sanchez. Ilie, you tried to get in between us for a little bit there with Austin, but you came to your senses and then you got absolutely dunked on in the second match. So we're back with you. We love you, buddy. So happy birthday to both Maxime Chanot and Ilie Sanchez. Also, on the 21st in 2017, LAFC officially acquires Omar Gaber on loan from FC Basel in the Swiss Super League. Unfortunately, the Omar Gaber experience would not last all that long. He got homesick, if we're being perfectly honest, and that was when Bob Bradley was the coach, and Bob worked with him to get back to his home country of Egypt. And I believe he signed with Pyramids FC after that and had a long and is still playing in a long and stellar career, but it just didn't work out with him over at LAFC, one of our inaugural team players. And on November 21st, 2018, LAFC acquires Eddie Segura on loan from Atletico Huila in the Colombian Categoria Primera A, which is their first division in Colombia. LAFC acquiring Eddie Segura at the end of the 2018 season. And of course, Steady Eddie has been with us ever since. I actually think that if Eddie continues on and plays a couple more seasons with LAFC, are you not going to put yourself back? Can you not put yourself back?
I was waiting for the perfect segue to come back with Hello Kitty.
You got
two
all
Hello
the
Kitties and a Hello Kitty jersey. Hello, Mr. Scarf. I can't really double down on the voices here. It's been a long time since we've seen you. Oscar, thank you for making me break out of my cocoon. I have found my bigger, older, more dominant Hello Kitty Schwester. That's German for sister. That's my Raumdeuter. Anyways, it's good to see the millions
and millions
of Defenders of the Bank listeners. Two Hello Kitties combined together, and they make Super Kitty.
What the hell hat are you wearing?
It's got pineapples on them, which honestly I've learned recently what pineapples mean if they're upside down. I learned about this at TST. This was part of a fun little ensemble that I had. But yeah, it's a pink bucket hat. You don't like?
No, I didn't know you owned a pink bucket hat.
Oh, I own multiple bucket hats in several different colors.
None of that surprises me. All right, so Philly, we got through our This Day in LAFC history.
It's just the perfect time for me to leave.
it was. That's fine. But let's talk about more pink, Philly, in that of February 21st, 2026, as LAFC, per Don Garber's request, will be opening the season in front of 60, 70, maybe 80,000, maybe more at the Los Angeles Coliseum, which, by the way, if you ever have time to go in through what is, I believe, technically the peristyle entrance, the way that they kind of intended the Coliseum to be gone in, there's all kinds of fences there now. There's an actual piece of the Roman Coliseum in front of the Los Angeles Coliseum. You can touch a piece of the Roman Coliseum by the right in front of the LA Coliseum. So make sure you do that.
It's not a well-known thing, Scarf. Like, I feel like growing up in New York without even touching foot or stepping foot in Los Angeles, I knew about that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a well-known thing or not. I know the place was built for the 1932 Olympics. It also hosted the 1984 Olympics, and it's going to be
What was the 1932 Olympics like anyway, Scarf? Tell us.
Listen, you're older than I am. What are you talking about?
Not when I'm wearing Hello Kitty gear.
February 21st, Inter Miami and LAFC playing at the Coliseum. Look, I know one of the things that we have talked about with several people higher up at LAFC is the hardest thing is going to be taking care of all the luxury boxes and all of the people that pay a lot of money in those suites. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for Field Club, Founders Club, Figueroa. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But your thoughts, Philly, on playing a match at the Coliseum?
Let's hear me out on this one. People always like, a lot more people have been following these conspiracy theories that there's a script and that sports are rigged. If the MLS Cup final features LAFC and Inter Miami, then yeah, I'll probably say this bad mother trucker might be kind of rigged. Trying to create a big start and a big splash to the season. Could you imagine if the MLS Cup final actually is LAFC versus Miami? That's what the league would want. But what the league wants is to start the season off with a bang in February at the Coliseum. About time that this has happened, because ultimately we know that the Rose Bowl belongs to the boys down the 110. That's theirs, without a doubt, and soon to be maybe not even UCLA's. But the Rose Bowl is associated with the LA Galaxy. No question about that. The Coliseum, while we've never stepped foot in it as LAFC, is right next door. If there's to BMO, if there's anything that we can lay claim on, is that facility right there. It's going to be a glorious way to start off the year. Fingers crossed, though, that what happened a couple of years ago doesn't happen again. If y'all remember, we were supposed to start the season off against the Galaxy at the Rose Bowl, but it got rained out, pushed till July. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully Mother Nature decided to piss and pour all over us right now. Let's get that out of the way. We open it up in the Coliseum. I love this. And we got an email about this with our section as to how we're going to be taken care of because of the club seating stuff. Curious to see how it all pans out, but I'm looking forward to this. The Coliseum is historic, and it's going to be a fantastic way to kick off the season. I love it.
Listen, I've seen plenty of cool sporting events in the Coliseum. I was there for the Boston Red Sox, Los Angeles Dodgers game a couple decades ago. I was a season ticket holder for the LA Rams the first year they came back. I sat 46 rows up behind the goalpost on one of the end zones. It was incredible. It's a stadium that, look, it doesn't have a lot of what we would call modern luxuries or creature comforts, but when you are sitting there, you feel the gravity of that stadium. You can feel the 1932 Olympics, the 1984 Olympics, all of those incredible matches with USC and UCLA. I mean, it is a really, really cool stadium. Many teams have called it home over the years, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's
start admitting he knows what it feels like to be back in 1932. See, I told you he did. He was there. Old fart.
Let's go. Let's go through a couple of other cool things about the schedule, Philly. 6 of the first 9, and I love the way LAFC worded this in their press release. 6 of the first 9 matches will be in Los Angeles. They didn't say 6 of the first 9 will be at home because of this match at the Coliseum, but 6 of the first 9 will be in Los Angeles. And I'm actually looking forward to, Philly, for only the second time ever, Orlando City will be headed to BMO. And of course, that means Edward Atuesta will be coming back to BMO Stadium. They re-signed him. He's on the team. So
doesn't mean he's going to be. It doesn't mean he can't get hurt.
It's April 4th, so hopefully he won't be too hurt by then. But I'm looking forward to seeing Orlando City in purple back at BMO for the only time they haven't come back since our inaugural year in 2018. Philly.
Yeah. I mean, that's not what excites me. I mean, Orlando, sure. If you get excited about that kind of stuff, by all means. I'm looking forward.
Wait, 1 second. Orlando has a guy, Philly, Alex Freeman, who has been on fire for the U.S. men's national team.
Of course.
If he's still in MLS by the time April 4th rolls around, he is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I get it. It's fine to watch on TV too. What I'm excited for more than anything is a potential away day on the 17th of October. LAFC gets to go to where I'm born and raised, New York City, to take on NYCFC. Now, it's not obviously going to be at that gorgeous, luxurious new stadium right where Citi Field is next to. That's going to be down the road. But either way, for the black and gold to get to go to New York, that's kind of cool. I can't miss that one. My parents, still live in New York City. It's an away day. That's a homecoming for yours truly. That's a game I'm really looking forward to. And just going throughout the rest of the schedule, I don't really recall that many events. Maybe it hasn't even ever happened. I don't trust ChatGPT enough to ask it that, but have we ever gone a season where we've played both New York teams? I
No,
can't. This
yeah,
has to be a first. So that's another thing. And by the way, I apologize. One New York team, because the other team plays in Harrison, New Jersey. The New Jersey Energy Drinks. Maybe you could see the Freedom Tower from their arena, but they are as Jersey can be. But either way, still pretty darn cool. Not them,
yeah,
but NYCFC.
And as of right now, shockingly, only 2 matches scheduled against Carson. July 17th there, October 25th here at BMO. But Philly, how about some 2 other fun days? Mother's Day. Mother's Day, the Dynamo.
I don't remember what day that's on.
Well, it's May 10th this year coming up. And Dynamo,
goody. Houston.
The Dynamo will be playing there. No Eric Duenas on the Dynamo anymore. More on that in a little bit, actually. And then Philly, I can't wait. You want to know what the biggest party is going to be? It's going to be our
party. Hang on. The biggest.
Oh, it's easy. It's easy.
Oh, dude, June, July, the World Cup.
No, I mean, yes, that'll be incredible.
Come on. What's bigger than the freaking World Cup?
Halloween at BMO. We play Minnesota on Halloween. I can't wait for this one. But you mentioned it, Philly. May 25th to July 16th. That's the World Cup break, folks. We're going to be off for 7 weeks. 7 weeks.
Oh, man, I can't wait for the freaking World Cup. I hope those media credentials work out for us. Hope we get to see games. I don't care who. Obviously, I would love to see Germany. Did you know, Scarf, that this is the final year that Germany is utilizing Adidas as their kit maker? Unbelievable. They're switching to Nike. It just blows my mind. And by the way, that kit, incredible. World Cup is coming. I love the World Cup. And I love the fact that we actually will have a break. Not like how it was during our inaugural season, which, like I'm sure you alluded to, we lost so many key players during the middle of the season to World Cup competition. Now we get to kind of chill and enjoy all the fun here on U.S. soil. To quote the great Marvin the Martian, oh, goody.
We have to beat Northern Ireland. And then I forget who the other.
There's no we in this conversation. Sorry.
It's like Wales and somebody else. We got to go through.
It's not happening for Italy. I'm sorry.
We just need to win 2 more matches. It can't be 3 straight World Cups that we don't make it.
It can. This is karma for what Materazzi did and made Zidane do to him. Karma.
He headbutted
physics. Every action causes an equal, if not bigger, reaction. There you go.
All right. Well, the other big thing to talk about with all of this, oh, by the way, is that none of these matches will be on the MLS package on Apple TV because the MLS package doesn't exist anymore. They finally decided that was a really stupid idea to put their matches beyond a paywall. And now, if you have Apple TV, you get all of the MLS matches. And more importantly, if you're a season ticket holder with LAFC in any section, you get Apple TV for free.
Wait, so you're telling me if I'm a South End Falcon, I get Apple TV for free?
South End Falcon.
If I sit in Figueroa, I get Apple TV for free?
Yes. What about
if I sit on top of the deck, I get Apple TV for free?
As long as it's
goody. Oh, amazing. Fabulous.
Oh, all right. Now that we've talked about the schedule, by the way, we'll have a lot more to talk about as it gets closer. But yes, we know MLS is changing their schedule in 2027. And it's an absolutely like asinine little mid-season, actual season quick thing. I don't know. It's like 14 games or something like that. And I don't even know what the hell is going on for that whole thing. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But let's talk about the international duty. Philly, you and I obviously were hoping for Gabon to qualify for their first ever World Cup.
Sure, but it was a long shot. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, listen, they had to win 2 matches just to get into a later qualifying tournament in March, and it was a whole thing. But the way they were playing, you had a lot of hope. And Gabon falling in added extra time to Nigeria, 4-1. World Cup qualifying over for Gabon. It's a bummer. It was 1-1.
Then he scored like 8 goals.
8 goals in the qualifying. Unfortunately, none in that match against Nigeria. It was 1-1 after the 90 minutes. And then so they went to the 2 extra 15-minute periods. And with their Victor Osimhen put 2 into the back of the net and unfortunately eliminated Denis and Gabon. I wanted this obviously for Denis Bouanga and everybody else in Gabon, but I also wanted it because this is also the year that Denis lost Aaron Bupenza, one of his teammates and friends who fell from a building, I believe, in China, and lost his life. That was one of their running mates. It was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Aaron Bupenza, and Denis Bouanga up top. And losing Aaron in the way that he did, it was one of Denis Bouanga's best friends. I was just hoping, some sort of miracle run would get Gabon into the World Cup. Unfortunately, it was not to be, but Philly, the miracle run is being run by Ireland right now.
Dude, 3 World Cup appearances with the last one being, oh my gosh, I was in college, I think, the last time Ireland made the World Cup. Hell, I still remember them at Giant Stadium during the 94 World Cup. What
1864. Got it.
Yeah. Now you got the jokes. Parrot.
Parrot. Oh.
That was the biggest goal in the history of the Irish Football Association. What an incredible game. What an incredible goal. I mean, to beat Hungary, which, has a history of success to a certain extent in the World Cup. I mean, unfreaking believable the way Ireland took out Portugal. Obviously, Cristiano was a little aggravated in that game. Saw himself a little. That hit that roja. Hold on. Do I have one? I do. Cristiano saw one of these. For those listening, I pulled out a red card. But the game against Hungary might go down as one of the best games in World Cup qualifier history. I'm partying with the Irish. I said this on Soccer in 60, so I'm going to recycle the joke. The joke always is everybody's Irish on St. Paddy's Day. I'm sorry to say there are going to be a lot of Irish folk during the World Cup, in particular during the group stages. Bravo, Ireland.
Yeah, if they can get into the World Cup, it'll be incredible. They have advanced to the 16-team World Cup qualifying playoff tournament where they are seeded. So they'll need 2 wins in that one. Both, by the way, Ireland and Northern Ireland in that World Cup qualifier, not to be confused with each other. It's unfortunate that Andy Moran didn't get to play in either one of those matches. He was an unused sub in the match against Cristiano, and then unfortunately didn't make the 18 against Hungary. We were also, by the way, hoping for Nathan Ordaz to will El Salvador to the World Cup. That was not meant to be, as Suriname of all countries, who, by the way, is in that same World Cup qualifying tournament. Suriname could make their first ever World Cup. They beat El Salvador 4-0. He subbed on at the half in that match, which, oh, by the way, so did Josh Perez. Josh Perez came on in that one. Remember Josh? And former LAFC keeper Tomas Romero was an unused sub for El Salvador. Unfortunately, not going to the World Cup for them. And Philly, I know you were watching Matt Evans and Guatemala. They, of course, didn't make their World Cup run either.
Neighbors are Guatemalan. And Brian Orozco, who's the goalkeeper from the Strikers, played on the Guatemalan national futsal team. What makes you think I wouldn't have paid attention to Guatemala? See, Scarf, you're assuming something, and you know how that works. When you make a what out of you and me? A what?
I hear you. I'm just more interested in the way that you react when I say this. Unfortunately, Matt Evans of Guatemala losing 3-2 to Panama. Oh. I was hoping we'd get a Panama reference from Philly, but no, Philly's normally
Panama. No,
there it is.
That was too easy.
That's what I was looking for. Dakuk, Tomas Romero. Remember him? He was one of 2 Romero goalies we had at one point. Abraham and
hang out with his dad at the tailgates.
No, that was. Wait, wasn't that Pablo Cisniega's dad?
No, Pablo Cisniega's dad. You mean like the head of the Mexican Football Federation?
Yeah, the former Olympian who knew us.
No. We never hung out with Pablo Cisniega's dad at a tailgate.
Yeah, Tomas Romero's dad.
That's
absolutely right. I apologize, Mr.
See, you're not only getting gray, or you're getting more senile. See, defenders has been around. Burger King was the prince. That old mother trucker.
Does it get grayer than this? I don't know. All right.
I mean,
Either
look,
way.
you could do what I do and dye it. Platinum-haired flamingo is back, baby.
Really,
Not because I was getting the grays, by the way. It's just midlife crisis hair.
I'm going to be honest. I've been trying to diet for a long time, but it's not not in the
No.
cards. Not in the cards.
Do or do not.
Listen, it was a fantastic international break for Timothy Tillman, who had a surprising call-up. I think you and I were as surprised as anybody else. Now, look, there were a couple of injuries, right? It was Sean Zawadski and Tyler Adams who were both out injured for this one. And so Timothy Tillman gets the call in, and look, who knows? He might not play. He's only had one cap ever with the U.S. men's national team. He plays really well in limited minutes in his 2-1 victory over Paraguay. He had 15 minutes, 7 touches, 4 for 4 passing, and a clearance. He also did his best Olivier Giroud and was offside once. But I
thought you were going to say missing.
Oh, no. He played very well in that match against Paraguay. But Philly, in that match against Uruguay, that 5-1 victory, he got the start and played the first 75 minutes in what they're calling the MLS game. I mean, it was such a good performance from Timothy Tillman. He was on the field for all 5 of their goals, had a great tackle and dispossession in the buildup for one of them. It was a really good break for Timothy Tillman.
And I take such joy in seeing that scoreline because it just harkens back to the treacherous snake-like Kike Oliveira making the comments about MLS and how and talked all that smack that he did about this league. And obviously the fans, all they care about is drinking in the stands. Oh, yes, to a certain extent, we like drinking in the stands. But that's not all we care about. So to me, this is another example of physics. Every action causes an equal, if not bigger, reaction. Uruguay, not a joke of an international team. First World Cup in 30, next one in 1950. And actually, if you go to the history of this international tournament, they got more stars on their kits. The official World Cup might have counted in 30, but Uruguay has been successful for quite some time before that and obviously after that. I think at the highest, maybe like 5th in the world in recent time. Either way, 5-1 ass kicking, that's pretty good stuff. I'm allowed to say ass on the show, right? I've said it twice now.
It doesn't matter. You say whatever you want to say on this show.
Oh, really? So no longer have to be family friendly?
No,
not suitable for work.
I'm saying you say what you want anyway, and I have to apologize later, but that's all right.
True.
Look, if you didn't get a chance to see Sonny's free kick against Bolivia, Sonny had an absolute scorcher of a free kick against Bolivia. Jason, in the chat, it's different. It's all right. No, Philly, no. Anyways, fantastic free kick for Sonny, just proving again how world-class he is. And then let's talk about Matthew Chonier and David Martinez, Matthew Chonier, an unused substitute as 10-man Canada, held off Ecuador for a 0-0 draw. David Martinez came on for 12 minutes and 8 touches in Venezuela's 1-0 win over Australia. And then they played each other. And it's just been a season to forget for poor David Martinez. He came on for 26 minutes. And then, Philly, can you grab the Tarjeta Roja one more time for me, please, sir?
Well, it's not going to be me that grabs it.
It is I, Scarf. Hello. Hello, kitty.
Hello,
kitty. Right off of Philly's chest. Tarjeta Roja. Tarjeta Roja. For David Martinez.
Yeah.
If a United Doubtfire meets Hello Kitty.
It's just been one of those rough seasons for David Martinez. 26 minutes, 13 touches.
I had a rough season like that as a 19-year-old.
I mean, yeah, right. It's not terrible, but definitely not what we thought it would be. Chonier came on for 26 minutes as well, closed out the match with a shot on target as part of 20 touches. And, by the way, let's not forget about Jude Terry. You guys, I think Jude Terry is going to be a very, very good midfielder. He is
any relations to Lauren?
No, unfortunately not. But
shout out LT.
He is all of 16 years old. Unfortunately, the U.S. under-17s were eliminated by Morocco on penalties, but Jude Terry opened up the scoring in the 1-1 victory. In the 1-1 match that ended on penalties for the U.S. Got the assist from Kevin Sullivan, and Jude Terry is just going to be very, very, very good. It'll be interesting to see, Philly, if the young Jude Terry gets a chance with us, and I only say that because the young Luca Bombino did not get a chance with us, but LAFC working out a trade with San Diego as San Diego exercised their option to make his move permanent. We get 200K in GAM initially, Philly. It could be as much as 900K if he hits certain provisions. And we also get a portion of the sell-on. Philly, you know how big of a fan I am of Luca Bombino.
You know, the funny thing is, you mentioned the young Luca Bombino, the young Jude Terry. Where with Scarf and I are in terms of the age ladder, we could easily, just to simply say, a young Thomas Muller. It's funny that you utilize the word young for all these players. But look, yes, I know how much of a fan you are, but at this point, you know, he's going to be making a lot of fans in San Diego. And at the very least, he gets to be as close to home as possible. It's a deal that works out. Where would he honestly fit in LAFC system? I mean, that's the problem. Yeah, he could be as talented as can be. He's just not going to see the pitch with the competition that he has in front of him. And if there's anything that the kid's going to want to do, the kid's going to want to play. Play he has at San Diego on a team that's been also very stinking good throughout the season. So good on him and good on the club for making this deal happen. Hopefully it works out for everybody, that he is successful, ups that transfer value, and he gets to continue and enjoy a long, prosperous career professionally, and LAFC can pick up a couple of bucks on the young player.
Look, couldn't agree
the
more.
Raumdeuter. That's funny. That's a good one. The young.
Yeah, couldn't agree more about Luca. He needed the minutes, he needed to play, and he wasn't going to do that behind Ryan Hollingshead, Artem Smolyakov, and Sergi Palencia. And he looks very, very good. By the way, if you didn't get a chance any of the last 3 months to see the Sunny mural in downtown LA, it's gone now. So I'm sorry. You didn't get a chance to see it.
I mean, it was around for like a quarter, Scarf. So, I mean, it had a healthy lifespan.
Yeah, it was around for 3 months. It was
a quarter. That's a quarter. How many months are in a year? 12, 3.
I know. I
thought you were a math teacher.
I thought it might go all the way on through MLS Cup playoffs. I didn't know, but there you go.
Real estate, baby.
All right, Philly, I'm going to do a quick lightning round on other roster decisions around MLS that have to do with LAFC. Ready?
This is where I meditate.
Walker Zimmerman is now a free agent, as Nashville did not renew his contract. Maxime Crepeau is now a free agent, as Portland did not renew his contract, but they did pick up Diego Chara for his 39th season in MLS. Franco Escobar is now a free agent, as Houston did not renew his contract. Christian Ramirez had his option picked up by Carson. Edward Atuesta had his option picked up by Orlando City. And 2 players who did not have their options picked up, Eric Duenas and Bryce Duke. One other one, if you don't mind. Noel Caliscan had his option picked up by RSL, so there will at least be one player with LMU ties in the league. And that's a little bit of roundup on all the former guys. So there you go. Hey, Philly, LAFC Punk is inviting you to the Islanders on my mom's birthday. There you go.
Let's go.
I love it. All right, Philly. A small group of MLS owners held their first closed-door succession committee meeting last Wednesday prior to Thursday's full Board of Governors meeting in Palm Beach, Florida. That committee is chaired by LAFC's own Bennett Rosenthal. And Philly, you and I both know this. Yep, go ahead. I think it worked. Did you guys all hear that? I don't know. If you guys heard it, great. But either way,
the applause button.
Philly, one of the things that we do know, Bennett Rosenthal, one of the nicest people that we've met, for sure. He's a great dude. We love
He
Bennett.
is. I'm not laughing because of the statement. I'm just laughing because if I had literally a nickel for every person Scarf has said is the nicest person ever, I would be able to pay my mortgage in Burbank at the very least for a month.
That's true. That's true. The guy who, by the way, also chairs the committee, I don't know that he's the most loved ever, is Jimmy Haslam.
Boo! Wanted to move them to Austin, you POS.
I know. Other members include the Revolution's Jonathan Kraft. That's Bob. That's Bob Kraft, right? Bob Kraft, the Patriots guy. That's fun. The Red Bulls' Oliver Mintzlaff and Nashville's John Ingram. Oh, by the way, Don Garber also attended the meeting. And my favorite part about this, Philly, is that a small group of owners then made a brief presentation to the full board during an executive session last Thursday, during which Don Garber excused himself. They're talking about replacing him, Philly, after his contract is up in 2026, which, oh, by the way, it looks like that's just it, right? He's just going to walk off into the sunset in the middle of like ridiculousness of a season that he created. Maybe they're going to extend his contract until the end of that ridiculous short 2027 season. I have no idea. But the fun part is, Philly, a couple of names came up on the short list to replace him, one of which major LAFC ties.
Yeah, you're talking about Larry Berg, of course, co-managing owner of LAFC and the former chairman of McGraw-Hill Education. I've acquired quite a few of your books throughout my time as a student. So that's a big one. So LAFC ties there, but obviously where there are LAFC ties lurking in the shadows are Galaxy ties. Dan Beckerman is also another name that came up, and I know you can't be involved in any Beckerman conversation, Scarf. I'm not going to bury the lead. I'll leave that one to you, but Dan Beckerman, the CEO of AEG, I mean, more than a decade. And even prior to that, he spent time as the CFO, spent time as the COO. For whatever you feel about the Galaxy, and I'm with you guys 1,000%, but AEG is a massive entertainment conglomerate that continued to octopus its way into all avenues of entertainment. And this guy was on the executive staff of it the entire time. Obviously, you know, he's got ties to MLS. He's got ties to NHL. So he's another candidate that we talk about. And honestly, I don't know. I mean, that would be a tough one. I mean, the spiteful one in myself thinks I would not want to see Dan Beckerman go there because I just don't want to see the Galaxy ever succeed ever. But at the same time, I do think he would be a really good and suitable replacement for Don Garber. He doesn't come at it from the perspective of a lawyer. He comes at it from the perspective of an accountant because that's his background. Having been a partner at one of the big four, I forget exactly which firm he came from, but he's got an accounting background as opposed to a legal one. Whereas Larry Berg, yeah, I mean, he's got a private equity background, if I'm not mistaken. A very smart guy within its own right, but you know, that's tough as to who I think would be more successful at the helm. I really do. Other names are on that list too, though.
Yeah, look, and by the way, full disclosure, I know Dan, and I can't speak of anything other than that, but Dan is a fantastic human, and I've known him for quite a while, so much love to Dan. And hey, I hope nothing but success.
So he's not one of the nicest guys we've had.
Oh, he is. He is. He absolutely is.
There's another nickel.
Like we know Larry. Obviously, I have my ties to Dan, but you mentioned it. A bunch of other really interesting names, Philly. A couple in the MLS offices, Charles Altchek, who is the Executive Vice President of Club Performance and League Growth for MLS, and Anastasia Denaya-Schmidt, an Executive Vice President and, oh, by the way, Chief Legal Officer for MLS. JT Batson, the CEO of US Soccer. And Philly, I thought this one was kind of interesting, rounding out.
Definitely can't be the CEO of U.S. Soccer. That's an ultimate failure right now. Might as well all jump ship and go to the USL. Forget JT. JT, take a hike.
The other one that I thought was interesting in the soccer realm, Philly, is Christian Seifert, the former CEO of the Bundesliga, talking about bringing him over for MLS. That could be fun.
It could be fun, considering how little he could do with the 50+1 rule in the Bundesliga. What he could do now with the single entity thing, he could totally take control of things. That's actually a good one. I like that.
That could be interesting. We have Ivan Gazidis, president of Kilmer Sports Ventures. Dan Helfrich. Kilmer, I don't know. Val Kilmer, rest in peace. Dan Helfrich, principal for Deloitte Consulting. Obviously, an interesting pull there. Peter O'Reilly, Executive Vice President, Club Business and International and League Events, which I thought was really interesting for the NFL. Philly, you and I have talked about it. They're playing NFL matches in like I don't know how many different countries this year.
Brazil, Germany, England.
Yeah, Spain. There's all kinds of stuff. So that's an interesting one. And then Philly, a person who you and I have gotten to watch do the second and third rounds of the NBA draft these last bunch of years. Mark Tatum, deputy commissioner of the NBA. After the first round is done, they bring in Mark Tatum to do the second and third rounds. He's obviously somebody who's worked. Why am I blanking? Adam Silver? He's worked under Adam Silver for the last bunch of years, and obviously knows how to grow a league in the NBA. So that could be interesting to see. Lots of interesting.
Yeah, everybody on this list, highly qualified, done tremendous things professionally. But the CEO of U.S. Soccer, JT Batson, you'd have to be batty to put that guy up there. I'm sorry. U.S. Soccer is probably one of the craziest. How they can't get this thing together just is beyond me. To me, that's automatic disqualification. Any ties to U.S. Soccer that you have from that board level? No, thank you.
All right. So, Philly, I got one more question for you before we're done, because we've covered all the different news and notes, unless you have anything else that you'd like to cover.
I've been kind of ranting and raving because I'm just all out of crap to say. I'm also out of water and Topo Chico and all kinds of other things, by the way.
One last one for you, and I'm assuming it would be the obvious answer, but maybe it isn't. We mentioned 5 players who used to play for LAFC, who are now on the free agent market: Walker Zimmerman, Maxime Crepeau, Franco Escobar, Eric Duenas, and Bryce Duke. If you could bring back just one of those 5 players, Zimmerman, Crepeau, Escobar, Duenas, or Duke, who are you bringing back? And why is it not Franco Escobar?
None of them. Listen, it's something to hold on to nostalgia and wax poetic about the past. And each of the players that you mentioned have given us some really good memories in the past, whether they've been part of our inaugural season, whether they were part of the MLS Cup, regardless of what the case may be. The romanticized notion that any of these players are going to come on our team and really have that much of an impact to where we'll remember them and praise them for their efforts now, I don't think so. I want to leave Walker Zimmerman in the past. Just seeing the emotion that he had crying when he left, that was heartfelt. First player I met, first player you met, first Jersey Panda ever had. I've got a special spot in my heart for Walker. But at the same time, I don't want that to be stained by him coming back and just being absolutely awful at LAFC. And that's not to say that he will, but trying not to look into the rear view, because my little motivation and thought on life is like driving a car. If you focus too much on the rear view, you're going to crash into what's in front of you. Get different players that'll fit the system that we utilize. All those players are great, fine, and dandy, but I don't think they're going to equate to us winning more trophies next season. That's just
that's the hard part. If you look at where all these players play, I agree with you. Look, Eric Duenas, Bryce Duke, I think those 2 guys are going to be very good USL players at some point. I think they could be the next Cal Jennings and Danny Trejo. We've seen them score lots of goals. We've seen them make a good impact. But I agree with you. Walker Zimmerman, by the way, is making DP money in Nashville. So good for him.
No way would he make DP money back here. We'd have to be out of our freaking minds.
Well, he shouldn't be making DP money, I believe, anywhere else, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Bring back Tyler Miller while we're at it, right, friend?
Well, no, he's over in, what is he, Coventry, or where is Tyler Miller playing now?
No, I was just egging a longtime listener of Defenders of the Bank. One that probably spit out his drink by me saying that, just by listening to it.
By the way, just one other player I want to mention. How about Christian Fuchs leaving Charlotte to go be the manager of EFL League 2 club Newport County? Just want to get a little shout out to all of our fans across the pond. It's going to be an interesting time in Newport County with Christian Fuchs leading the way there. Philly, we had a hell of a run here on this one, almost an hour and 10 minutes.
We haven't touched every topic, Scarf.
Which one haven't we touched?
We never talked about the schedule change.
Oh, I mean, do we want to talk about that on this one, or do we want to talk about that like in the off season, or what do you want? How do you want to?
Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about that during the off season. I mean, we're already 69 minutes giggity into this podcast. I kind of don't want to talk anymore. I'll tell you what. First person in the chat that says yay or nay, that's what we'll do, and we'll wait on them.
So we can either talk about it or not. Anybody in the chat chimes in. It'll be so funny if someone's like, "No, just shut up. That's it. We're done."
And I'm going to give you 10 seconds to say something. Otherwise, I'm just going to automatically.
All right, LAFC.
It'll never get old. I mean, we forever retaining the spirit of youth. I still laugh at these things and fart jokes. I love you, punk.
That being said, this was a lot of fun. I'm about to play our outro. What do you think, Billy?
Which one?
The actual episode outro.
Cool. Then hit the right button.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.